Good evening. This is Joel Pompa. I'm from Group 6, the HDHD group, and today I'm going to be talking about PALS, or Peer Assisted Learning Strategies. So what is PALS? PALS is a reading strategy or approach that's designed to use student pairs in classrooms in order to accommodate students' reading needs. Teachers pair students that they think are going to work well together and are going to help facilitate positive outcomes. They then, in return, share a reader slash coach relationship where one person is the reader, the other's coaching them as they read, providing feedback and positive criticism or encouragement, and the other's the reader or the coach. So why is PALS effective? It is a research-based approach that has been found to do many positive things for students of many backgrounds and levels. Through the peer-mediated sessions, each student are able to learn more of themselves as they read through the interaction with their peers. And this is all done in a very one of the more least restrictive environments possible, because the program is designed to be enjoyable and give some sort of comfort as kids and students read. It is also simple. It does not require any special reading materials. Teachers can choose the reading materials that the students will be reading. It is cost efficient, flexible, and like I said before, enjoyable for the students. But here are some more benefits. It encourages students to be on task. So the on-task time for reading is embellished by the participation that students have through that student-coach relationship they share while they're doing their reading. It helps motivate them to continue reading more as they grow and build in positive social interactions and relationships. And it could be easily implemented in any schedule during the school day. So in order for us to understand PALS, we have to understand how it works and what is the time frames for it to be most effective. So we will talk about in the next few slides how to train both students or teachers to implement this program correctly. But what you should know is that reading pairs, meaning the reader, coach, coach-reader relationships that are made by the teachers amongst students in the classroom, usually last about 3 to 4 weeks. After this period, students are then changed into different pairs, and teachers have or should have a chart, which we will speak about in the next few slides, where students can visually see who are they working with and what to expect for the next few weeks to come. Adjustments are made to these pairs when there are absences, meaning there's a student that is absent and the other is present. There's an incompatibility between the students and their levels. Behavioral issues that are causing a schism or problems, and just other more advanced academic needs that could be prevalent in one student or both. Lastly, like I mentioned earlier, the PAL sessions can be incorporated in the daily schedules of the students to avoid discrepancies and inconsistencies. So times where they would have lunch, recess, gym, would not be a time where PAL sessions would be held. Rather, they would just be held maybe 30 to 40 minutes of a day throughout their normal scheduled time and in school. So in order for us to understand what's proper or adequate training for PALS, we have to discuss these 4 elements. So first, discussing the program itself, PALS. Teachers are to introduce the program, expectations, ground rules, and then once they discuss and introduce and try to have the students understand the outcomes, they model these activities. So we will be talking about some activities that are used in order for students to become better readers or more adequate in certain skills for reading. And of course, it allows time for guided practice and independent practice. So students can learn how to do this for themselves. And as the teacher facilitates these groups, all she does is he or she supervises the classroom and attempts to encourage their interactions even more so. So the impact of the teachers on the students as they are in the PALs is, again, maintaining schedules, having visual cues, so team charts or team pair charts that are reassigned every 3 to 4 weeks, as well as a scoreboard and a chart for students to track their progress. So a good thing about this program is that it's also, in a sense, competitive, although I did mention it's one of the more least restrictive environment inducing programs. It's competitive in the sense that students have an incentive. They're motivated to do well and work well with their partners in exchange for points that could be awarded in many ways, whatever way the teacher may feel adequate. So here are some examples. On your left, you have the scoreboard, which is basically, the different teams and what they've tallied up throughout the day, throughout the week, or throughout the month. Then we have certain rules, so one important thing for classroom management and the safety of students is, establishing rules. So you would speak to students as you introduce and model the PAL activities. You would speak to them in the consideration of certain rules, such as the 4 listed here. And again, the assignment charts, so students can see who are they working with and they do not forget. As we move forward, we now look into some reading activities. So on this chart, we have 4 different categories of grade ranges to look at. So we notice here we have skills and we have activities. So for the younger grades, let's go for K to first. They are mainly working with learning how words sound and trying to decode sight words, reading together in order to become more proficient or able to better understand how words sound in sentences. And then, once you start getting in the higher grades, you start noticing some games that you can incorporate. So fluency games, how fluent are they in speaking and understanding? As you continue, you go into more heavier reading activities where students are to be retelling a certain section, paragraph of their, of their reading. They're able to make inferences and predictions, and as they interact, they are actively working in a community environment to try to understand the reading together, but also incorporate their own ideas. So this is evident in both the 2nd through 6th, or any 2nd and upgrade, even into high school. So this concludes my PowerPoint on PALS. Thank you for stopping by to watch, and I hope you take something meaningful out of this presentation. Okay, have a nice evening.